And we're back here with another edition of the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka Rgb. Before we get cooking, though, we got to give a shout out to a few sponsors. First, let's start off with Shady Shafts. Make sure you guys go check out shadyshafts.com. Was nice enough to get hooked up here with some shaft wraps. Obviously, Pitch Putt and Puff. We're going with the cannabis flower, and as you can see on there with the custom RGB, bunch of different options over at Shady Shaft, from American flags, camouflage. Literally pretty much everything. There's an option for every golfer out there. Really personalize your clubs. Go check out shadyshafts.com. Use promo code PUFF20. PUFF20 will save you 20% at checkout. Please go support them for support and help out the Pitch Putt and Puff. They've been big supporters of us since we had them on. Shadyshafts.com, promo code PUFF20. Also, got to give a shout out to Back Nine Botanicals. Definitely go check these bad boys out. The Players Blend here with the Moonlight Mulligan. This is the Players Blend. I got the Birdie Boost here, as well as the Moonlight Mulligan. These are great for sleep, these Moonlight Mulligans. Literally, what the Back Nine Botanicals, they offer you a CBD supplement pretty much for anything you're getting involved in. Something just to get your day going, something to keep you going throughout the day, and then something to help you crash out at the end. Also, they sent me an awesome hat, a nice Adidas hat with their logo. So go check them out at back9botanicals.com. Promo code over there, we got TPUFF10. TPUFF10, that's going to save you 10% at checkout. The other cool thing they got, let me see if I have it here, right here in front of me, the shooters. These just came out. Go check these out. They got the THC shooters, 10 milligrams. This flavor here is the passion fruit. I tried one the other day. Fantastic. Really gives you that nice little buzz there to keep you going throughout the day. So Back Nine Botanicals, check them out. TPUFF10 to save yourself 10%. And always got to give a shout out to my man over at Bergstock Candles. My man Mike over there hooked me up with the clubhouse candle. So before we get into the studio here, RGB is always firing up the candle one way or the other. So we'll get into that. And one more shout out I got to give to my man over at Gopher Golf. Got the smiley face ones here, as well as the bearded man tees. So as soon as this snow melts here in upstate New York, we'll be back out on the course, and those will be stuck in the ground and ready to tee it off. But today, tonight we're just going to get into a little episode here. Going to have Mikey jump on. Mikey's pretty much going to start becoming a regular on here, I think. Seems to be one of the guys who always willing to jump on for me. Anthony might pop in. I'm trying to get Bob back in the swing of things here, as well as JR. So tonight we're pretty much just going to recap the year, take a look ahead of what we're going to get into with the Pitch Putt and Puff as the off season continues, and plans for the golf season when it finally approaches here. We got about 60 to 90 days until we're back out there teeing it up. So a long way to go here, just finishing up the holidays, and hope everybody had a great Christmas, Happy New Year. And Pitch Putt and Puff, man, we're going to keep this thing rolling through the off season and continue to produce twice a week episodes. Going to have a guest and then usually a chop up. Might mix it up as we go, but I'll keep you guys posted as we go. So I'll take a quick second here, and we're going to bring in my man Mikey. I'm back here on the Pitch Putt and Puff. I got my man Mikey joining me. What's up, Mike?
What up?
Yo, so I was watching the my most recent episode the other day down in the garage, and I got up and went upstairs or whatever. My wife came down a little bit later, and she's watching the episode where you put Michelangelo up.
Yep.
She goes, at first I thought it was like a picture, and then I looked and I'm like, that's like she didn't know. She goes, Raj, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, that's Mikey, man. He's just like me and the Ghostbusters and the Turtles and all that shit.
Yep. Yeah, my major thing is Star Wars, but I try not to overdo my Star Wars on everybody else.
Mikey, I've never seen it. Never have seen. I've seen Spaceballs. I've never seen Star Wars.
Dude, how can you watch Spaceballs and never see Star Wars? You're missing
I didn't know any better.
You're missing 90% of the comedic value in it.
Bro, I was probably 10. All I remember was dun, 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 dun. That's all I remember from the whole fucking movie. My man Chad. Shout out Chad.
Yeah.
That was it. That was literally all I remember. I never seen it. It's crazy though, Mike. I've been like that my whole life, man. It's all the shit that everybody's into. Like
You
I never
stray
seen.
away from
I don't know why. It's not on purpose. Like The
it.
Godfather, I never watched the Godfather series. I've never watched Star Wars. I never like when people were Game of Thrones, Squid Game, Breaking Bad. Never seen a single. Like I tried watching Breaking Bad because of how much everybody hyped it up.
Yep.
I got like 2 episodes in, and I'm like, yo, this is. I'm just gonna take a nap because this is like just. It's a slow start.
You're not into the soap opera type fucking shit.
But dude, I watch Sons of Anarchy. I watch the Power series, the 50 Cent Power series that he does, and all
Okay.
these
Yep.
spin-offs. Like I watch Chicago PD. You know what I mean? Like the only
You,
show I actually sit down to watch live and sit through the commercials is Oak Island, but I'm starting to have a tough time with that too because they don't
they're
find nothing, bro.
dude. They're going overboard, man.
It's
Like
getting too much. Yeah.
they know they're starting to plateau
Yep.
with what they're finding, and they can't draw more interest in, so they're starting to do side shows.
It's
Like
crazy that show.
now they're doing like a curse or what is it, the Tales of Oak Island,
Oh yeah, after the
and
show and stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
So
dude.
when I first started watching, I think you guys do it too, and your girl watch it as well, because like just the History Channel alone, just the history, the knowledge, like a lot of that shit is cool. Like when you're watching Ancient Aliens and you're hearing about the petroglyphs and like all the old school shit, you know, and there's meanings behind it and like shit you don't learn in school, you know.
Right,
And same
dude.
with Oak Island, the history of the Freemasons and the Knights
Dude,
Templar and whoever
if
else.
if they had all these channels in grade school,
Oh God.
I would have been a history buff.
Right,
I
right.
just I just watched a like a 6 episode, probably about a 6 hour thing on Wyatt Earp.
Oh hell yeah, why?
That the real story, like they did the real story, not what you're told in school.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, it makes you wonder why why they refuse to teach you the truth in school.
Yeah,
Is it
for real.
is it because they've been sticking to their guns and telling you that, feeding you this story for so long, that they don't want to admit that they've been duping us this whole time, so
This
it
whole time.
diminishes their credibility? But
And no one will trust them again. That's the problem. They lose
no,
everything.
I don't trust them anyways.
I know. That's the crazy. Like a lot of people still do, man. I don't know why. I don't know why they haven't given us a reason to trust them in a really long time. Unfortunately, I was just telling you some shit before we started recording, some inside info I recently got. That it's just like it makes sense when you hear it from a source like that. You know,
Absolutely, them
it's
inside
crazy.
sources.
When you got dude, and I'm like, I'll tell you more off air, like when I see it, kind of thing. I don't even like talking about it over the phone, but very connected, very connected. Yeah, it's wild, it's wild. But so Mikey, man, I'm just gonna kind of recap the year a little bit. This will be the first episode of 2025, so I hope everybody had a happy New Year, Merry Christmas, the whole 9 yards. Got to spend some time with family. For you listeners in warm weather areas, I hope you're out on the golf course because we had some decent weather. It wasn't freezing like it was a couple weeks ago, but um, we're struggling to get out there. We were at the simulator this past week.
Yeah, it's just
It
not the
sucked.
it's just not the same, dude. The more and more I go, the more and more I remember why I don't like going.
Dude, and I think about, I was like, I used to come here every single week, dude. And I'm like, why? But like, I did get better when I played that whole year. Like, that's when I kind of
Okay.
picked up from like my irons. When I really started striking my irons well,
Yep.
was when I hit the simulator the whole year. But I hit my
I
irons a lot better when I'm in there too,
I
opposed to
I
the
I think I'm gonna go to a couple simulators by myself and just hit one club until I feel comfortable with it, and then I'll just leave, and then
yeah.
I'll come back and I'll hit another club until I'm comfortable with that one, and then I'll leave.
Dude, I would like to do
Because
that. Like, let's go up one day for like just get 2 hours, and we'll sit there and I'm gonna just hit my driver. I'll just set the range. I don't want to play a course like that. I
nah,
think that sucks because that gets very frustrating. You can't tell what kind of lie you're in, all that kind of shit. It gets really crazy.
and we
Um,
were noticing it the last time. Like, you notice your ball's going straight, and then all of a sudden the last fucking 3/4 of the fucking aeration is a total fucking
yeah, dude. It hits a wall, makes a
out of
90-degree turn.
nowheres.
And it's like one thing, like a lot of your shots, like, yeah, okay, if they have a hook to them or something, you see that hook right off the rip.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
not going up and taking a 90-degree turn. And I mean, it could be realistic to actually where the ball was probably going to go, sure, but that's not the way it was going to. Don't make me think I hit a perfect shot for 200 and in the last 50, 60, it's going.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the frustrating part.
Total fucking anger.
Yeah, man. It was me, you, Kirk, and his old lady were up there. That was a good time. She hits the shit out of the ball, man. She was putting it 225, I think was her long drive. That's a shot.
Yeah, it is.
That's a shot. I
Yeah,
forgot to show you too. So I took a slow-mo video of you on one of your swings.
I think you
And
sent it to me.
I did send it to you. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you
yeah.
can see, dude, like how your
I
power
got
comes through and then your hands come through.
I got to start shifting my weight onto my front foot.
Yeah. Yep.
I straighten my front leg out like in baseball,
Yep.
and it totally fucking kills me. That's why
Keep
I'm hit. That's why I'm
that front
hitting
shoulder.
behind the ball a lot. That's why I'm hitting fucking skyborne shots.
Mm-hmm. It's that front shoulder. Keep that front shoulder leaned in. Just lean into it, and that's where you're going to get a
Yep.
lot. That's where because you're just getting through to your shoulders this way to the left when you're coming through the swing a little bit, and that's where you're already extended. So you're losing
Putting
a lot of time.
way too much weight on my back foot.
Yep. Yeah. See, but it's cool when you can get it in slow mo, and you can sit there and you can be slow back and forth, back and forth. Okay, well, look where my hand is at this point. Look at this.
Yep.
Like me and Bob did that a lot when we first started getting out there and playing. Because before pitch putt and puff, it was me and Bob were always out there, Christian. But yeah, man,
I'm,
your recap. Gonna talk about just honestly, dude, like from where I started this thing to where it is now, I'm like it's crazy to me because I started literally talking on my phone in the garage. No video, no nothing. Would sit down there and just everybody would go to sleep. I'd sit down there and talk to myself for 15, 20 minutes. Weirdest shit ever, you know? I'm like, oh, what am I doing? This is so stupid. And then I got Bob to start hopping on as a co-host. So I've had like 2 or 3, 4 different co-hosts for a little stretch here. It all depends on who's doing what, really. Then we started doing it like where I had guests on. Like our first guest I ever had on was my man Joe from New York Auto Flower. Ran into a homeboy at the Columbia County Fair. Like I'm cruising through. You know what I'm saying? Like how random. But I walked by and I seen a tent with a cannabis flower. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So I popped over, told him who I was. I didn't have any stickers. I didn't have I had the logo. I think I just started the Instagram page, maybe 100 followers, dude, on IG. Literally maybe 100 followers. And it was all friends and family and a couple of golf pages or whatever. And then I was like, yo, would you be interested in coming on the podcast? And he was nervous about it. I'm like, dude, it's not on camera. Don't even worry about it. It's like a phone call. He's like, oh, all right, cool. And so I had him on. I didn't know. I was like good, I'm Googling good questions to ask on a podcast. You know what I mean? Like all this
yeah.
basic shit. And then I kind of just went through the motions. And then slowly I was like, all right, how do I build this thing? And I started getting the guest on. And it slowly started to trickle. Like some of the experiences, dude, like getting, chop it up with XG. And now I have he's literally like a homie. Like I could pick up the phone right now, call him, and I bet he would answer, which is the craziest shit to me. Like I listened to him on 4 or 5 podcasts, and like he hit me up, yo, you coming to the show in February? I think I'm going out there with Sam. I'm like, shit, all right, yeah, we'll come through, no doubt. But getting to interview him, starting up the legend shit, joining up with Upstate, like all these the Golfer Gang Network, like all this shit, man. It's like from where I was started, never playing for any of this to happen. Playing on Boston balls with the guys, 8 people. Now we're up to 16 guys in the pitch putt and puff crew. Like it's
So
wild,
it
bro.
it is officially 16.
I think it's technically 15 if when I add Charlie, it's 16.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the count.
And
Which
who hasn't been on the podcast yet?
that's the other issue I got here. We got some player profiles we got to get done in this off season here. So Fairway hasn't been on in a while. I'd like to get Fairway back on, especially in the off season. He's been at the dude. I drove by the other day, seen his car at the driving range. Yeah, dude, he's great. He's great. I seen his car there. Ran into Hank today. I got to see Bob. Talked to Jay on the pod last week for the first time. I've been so busy myself, so I can't even like hold these guys accountable. But
Right.
like I did the player profiles with you, Kirk, Brad, and Farina. So I still got Ant-Man. I got to get on here. I got a player profile for Bob, Jay, Steve. I don't know if Steve will come on because of his work situation. Parisi definitely won't come on. That's a given. I got a feeling I could get Hank on, but Hank would have to be partnered up with someone else. Like it'd have to be Hank and Bob or Hank and Fairway and be able to
I'll
like,
I'll jump on.
yeah, he can't. Hank won't be able to just focus the conversation on him. He would just want to chime in.
Dude, I like we said before, I don't like blowing up his spot, but he seems like I said, the one time that he stuttered like once when I first met him, and then it was like 3 holes in,
He
nothing.
would on here because he'd be thinking about it and he'd be nervous.
Right.
He would on here because he would do that. But
Yep.
like Ant Man, get it. Like Kirk was nervous as hell the first time.
I've been
Ant Man
pushing.
can hop on here.
I've been hitting Ant Man up on Instagram trying to get him to do it. I'm like, dude, it's not as bad as you think it is. I said it's not. It's really, if you got somebody else there with you,
Mm-hmm.
it's you
Hop in,
just
yeah,
gotta.
hop in a chop up session. Hop in something like
It's
tonight. Just hop on, talk about what
right.
the fuck you been doing for the past 8 weeks. Probably ain't seen you. Know what I mean? He's probably out there. He's an athlete. Who knows? He's hooping football. He's doing all that shit. Jay's
Now
out
what?
there. Like
Where
Jr.
does he
came on
go to
last week. Gave
school?
us. He don't go to school. He's older. He was a Lansingburg kid though.
Right, but why do I always see him posting pictures on Instagram inside of a
He's
bathroom in school?
he works at a school.
Okay.
Yeah, he does. I think it's a school, or I think it's like it's a county
He,
job. It might be in an old school building or something though.
all right.
Yeah, he's always posting his fly ass outfit of the day.
Yeah, he's always got fucking. You know who he reminds me of, dude? Is the dude from Outcast,
Andre 3000
Andre 3000. That's who he
with the
reminds me of.
outfits. Okay, I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yep.
I see that. He's a good dude, man. I'm glad he joined up with us, and he really he's excited about it. Like, yo, if you need a guy, you know to call me. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. And literally, that's what I do now. I go down my list. Like, all right, if I have 12 tee times, I send the text to like the original 8. Make sure everybody's in. I'll always send
Yep.
it to the original 8 first because those guys are always gonna have first dibs. It's just how I'm gonna do it. They've been loyal to me for a couple years, and then boom, it's the next group. Bam, and then it goes into the group. First come, first serve at that point. But this is what I want to do this year is a couple things. Let me give you a couple things I learned over the past week and a half.
Dude,
I'm thinking about
we gotta get everybody to be able to be girl friendly, because I know for a fact Logan would love playing with us.
I know. She could from what I seen, honestly, I don't know about the short game and stuff, obviously, but she could hang. She could definitely hang from the women's tees.
Yep,
100%.
absolutely.
100%. So I got some info. Let's see. So let me start with this though. It's not 100%, but there's some changes coming to the Freer Park. It's not 100%, but there's going to be a different look at Freer Park, possibly for 2025, which might affect the way some tournaments are run. Speaking of tournaments, I've been telling you guys I've been working on a pitch putt and puff tournament. There is a possibility of it being at our home course, which
And
would be
what time of
fucking
year?
dope. So you know how 420 would be a little bit too early, be too cold, right?
Right.
So the oil date is what, 7/10?
Yep.
I'm thinking something in July after the 4th of July.
Yep. July 10th.
Yep. So I'm thinking 4th of July, depending on what day it falls on. Got to see what's available on the calendar once I get the okay. If I get the okay, I'm gonna go through all the right avenues I have to go through. So I don't know if you've seen this where Hochul just passed that bill to where it kind of. So she just passed something basically to where, for example, helium, the helium boys, they can pull up to a
Yep.
farmer's market now and start selling their butt.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So
it
it's like
kind of cuts
it's a
out,
traveling, like a
but it cuts
traveling
out the
license.
dispensaries. It cuts out the dispensary. So what I was going to have to do before, when I was partnered up with 420, we would have to set up like a pitch putt and puff menu, and then everybody could pre-order off the menu and it could get delivered to the site.
Right.
But they couldn't sell it there. Like you couldn't say, "Oh, I didn't order nothing. You got an extra pre-roll on there." They wouldn't be able to give that to you legally.
Right.
But now with
Because
the
they
way it
got a
looks,
grams limit. You can only
no,
buy a certain
it's the
amount of
way you
grams.
no, it's the way you sell it. You can't deliver it to somebody If it's not, it's got to be purchased online if they're going to deliver it to you.
Okay.
They can't buy it. It's like crazy loopholes, right? So with the way it is now, if I'm understanding this bill correctly and what I know, I'm gonna get like Rihanna on here from Jaunty and New Moon, wherever she's at New Moon now, and maybe a Jaunty rap, or I know I got a 400 River. They're looking to come on and talk about the with the MB Canna Farm with their micro license. So like maybe like companies like those guys and the Helium guys to really break this down. But from what I'm understanding is that the farmer will now be able to, this is kind of a way, dude. It's crazy, but dispensaries are going to shut down. If you can go to a farmer's market and purchase from these guys directly, you're going to get a better price because
Right. Because
you're
now
not
you don't
covering
have
the
the
overhead.
middleman, the overhead, the middleman.
Mm-hmm. You're eliminating that overhead. You're eliminating the
Yep.
payroll of the employee. You're eliminating keeping the lights on. You know what I mean? So where
Yep.
the growers are still going to do their thing, and like I've seen some of these price sheets. You know what I mean? I've been around a few of them, and it's reasonable for what you're doing for the product you're getting for sure. But I see what they're getting. You know what I mean? So if they can go and get, maybe if it's a pre-roll they're selling is $20 in a dispensary, and they can go to the farmer's market and get 15 for it, why not? You know what I'm saying? Why
Now
not?
this stuff wouldn't be able to be considered medicinal. It would be
Nope, it's all still it's all New York State. The same shit you could go and purchase in the dispensary,
really
yes, can now be sold to you at like a farmer's market.
okay.
Because
All
the
right.
people who grow it, the growers and the companies have the micro license, so they can still grow and distribute and do all
Okay,
that.
so there's still going to be that overhead of keeping an
The
eye on what they're selling,
the
making sure
operations,
it's
yeah,
it's still good.
yeah. So
You're not you're not
they're gonna
putting
they
out
have to do
bad
that anyway
weed,
though.
right?
They'd have to do that anyway, and it's still got to be all sealed in New York packaging and all that shit to
Not
be.
that, dude. How many years did we smoke weed before it was legal and before they started testing for all this shit and making sure
Never,
it
man.
wasn't
What are you talking
like?
about?
But
Never.
have we ever gotten sick?
Yeah, no, nope, nope. I've never heard of anybody getting sick off of smoking. I mean, you hear these crazy stories of
Unheard of, dude.
hitting
Once you
vapes and having fentanyl overdoses,
once
but
once you put that flame to that tree, you're killing everything that you're doing.
yep. And a lot of times too, like when I had the Rogue Shop, the guys from the Rogue Shop on here, and they were explaining to me like we sell it as THCA flower, so it's not technically THC in the products, but when you spark it, it turns it into it's technically Delta 9, which is cannabis that gets used in the stone. But
Okay.
until you spark, you could sit there and chew the shit. It's not going to get you fucked up. But when you put the flame to it, that's when it activates the THC.
Yep. The cannabinoids.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So with that being said, with that whole thing Hokel passed, that opens up the door to have Helium post up and distribute at the gully hole. It has the opportunity for Jaunty to be sitting at the turn and pass out cartridges and edibles, or it has freaking, I don't even know. I'm going through everybody. Back Nine could be sitting there handing out their CBDs. They could do that anyway. But um, literally all these companies, I could have MB Canna Farms there. I could have 400 River there. I could have Transcend Wellness there. I have all these companies there and having their name on a whole in a product.
Right.
So where people can not only see it, smell it, but then they can also use it. So, dude, if I'm learning everything the right way and like reading about it the right way, and I get the, even if it's not free of part, but if I get the okay to course and I'm able to do that, where last year I wouldn't have been able to do that, it's
Right.
really a game changer for the way I want to do it, Mike. Like I have some plans like in mind, so it could be
Let's
like a
let's
real
do
dope
it.
event.
Let's concentrate on one big thing instead of a lot of little things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
Get
absolutely.
your tournament up and going and start doing that as an annual thing.
Yep. Because I already got the boys from the city, like Stone and the family. My man Alex was on a few weeks ago. He's like,
Yep.
dude, whatever you do, I'm in. Obviously, we'll have like 52 Sundays and Lombardi and everybody else go for golf, helping out where prize is, trouble off the tee. Like that's the cool thing. Like it's I keep in contact with a lot of these guys to where it's an easy reach. Hey, can you throw me a T-shirt for a raffle prize or something like that? You know,
Right.
it's the way you got to do it, man. And they've been good. Everybody's been good to me. Like just had Aubs plays golf on. She was great. And she's like, yeah, I'm trying to get my followers up. I'm like, well, do a giveaway. She goes, like, aren't you a member of Team Lombardi? She's like, yeah. I go, give me a second. I DM, I throw her in a group chat with me and Uncle Paulie. Uncle Paulie, we got a Team Lombardi member here and needs a little help. No questions asked. Yep. I'll figure out which putter
Uncle
tomorrow. Messages first thing in the morning. Yep, I got this putter. We'll do the giveaway.
Uncle Paulie loves giveaways.
He loves them, man.
He loves them. He lives for the giveaways,
He's
dude.
the best, dude. He really does take good care of us, man. He does. He does. He was excited to see you, man, in your post the other day.
Yeah. He DM'd me. He was like,
Did
yo,
he?
yo, yo. Yeah.
Yeah, he was happy to see you, man. He's a good dude. He's a
On,
good dude.
on the DL, man. On the DL.
Yeah.
Coming back in 25 on the pitch putt boof.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
Right. What's going on with them new hats, bro?
So this hat here, I'm gonna get. All right, perfect segue, Mike. Did you know I was gonna bring this up right now? Because it's literally a
No.
perfect segue. All right, so I'm working with a buddy of mine. He's kind of starting off a little side hustle, and he hooked me up with the hat. I like it. The logo looks good on here, but in person it's a little bit too big. I want to shrink it down a little bit. Obviously, have this logo, and get the right quality hats. So I guess his wife did this one. She said it was the biggest pain in the ass ever. I'm wondering if part of it was because of the size, but here nor there. If they can do the hats for me, might have some hats coming out. And I'm currently tomorrow morning when I see him, I'll be picking up my first test run. I had a hoodie and a jacket done. So if it's to the standards, I'm hoping I'll take an order. And compared to like some of the prices I was giving you earlier with some of the other shit, like the price is going to be a lot better. A lot better. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and the more I do, the cheaper it is too. So it works out. It works out good. I got this jacket, dude. I'm excited about it. Like, this is my last Christmas present that I bought for myself that I'm like waiting on. You know, I messaged him today. I'm like, bro, I don't buy my shit myself anything. I go, I bought this shit for myself for Christmas and it was dirt cheap. He goes, what? I'm like, yeah, bro. It cost me like $20 to get the shit done for him. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, bro, I'm just really want my hoodie, man. He's like, I'll be in with it tomorrow. I forgot it at my house.
Embroidered or screen?
Screen.
Screen.
Because of the screen for the hoodie.
Yep.
So, and the other one is I have an embroidery place. I got to figure out how to get a DST file for the logo.
Yep.
I'm struggling with that and gonna work on an embroidery for the hat. So I'm gonna get a couple options. That's obviously gonna be a little bit more costly, and I want to see how it comes out because it is a little tricky of the logo.
Yeah, I know a lot of people say that some logos just can't translate.
Mm-hmm. Like the one you're wearing right there was tough. He said to do because it's
tough to get the golf ball to translate.
Yeah. But yeah, with that being said, that's the plan with the merch going forward. We'll see what happens. But big changes coming to Freer. I can't say too much because nothing's really confirmed, but it's something you'll really enjoy. I can put it that way, Mike. I know you're here's a hint. I know you're a big food guy in the turn. That might be changing a little bit, and just the visual of Freer Park, not the golf course itself, but Freer Park when you walk in there.
Now I heard there was going to be. I also have a small connection. I know you know who I'm talking about, I think.
Yeah.
And he was telling me a couple of the small things that they had planned on doing. And
I don't even think that's on the table yet.
The approach shot going to 7?
I don't even think that's on the table yet.
No?
Any of the course related stuff.
Okay.
This is all off the course related stuff, which could be drastic for the course itself. Yeah, it's going to be a whole new look.
Everybody on the planet knows that the pub is closing, right?
Yeah, pub's closed, and it's not. They don't have a new owner yet. They don't have a new owner yet because there's some things in the works that could change the whole plan going forward. It's just a matter of cities going to invest the money into it.
Now, from what I hear, that guy wanted to close a while ago.
He's been looking to retire for about 5 years now.
Yeah, and the city's been strong arming him into fucking staying open.
Well, his lease was till 2025, so he had the lease
Like,
until 2025.
they said something like they weren't gonna approve the new buyer for their liquor license or something.
Oh
So
Jesus, yeah,
so
coming down to
so
the
so that's why he ended up staying for the length of his lease.
yep. Oh,
Something like that, dude.
it's wild, man. It's been that place makes it. The poor guy's up there 24/7. Literally, he's up there all year round too because
I mean,
hockey does better than the golf season does.
well, because you got people coming in from all over the place for hockey, dude,
All the time. Yep.
and they're the numbers can grow with the amount of people that are there for hockey. The numbers can't grow for the amount of people that are there for golf.
Yeah, you're
You
locked in.
you can only squeeze so many people in on that golf course in so many minutes.
And it's
So
crazy too because how many times have you gone up there like after like we're not big drinkers, our crew. There's really like the only ones that really drink are like
Hank,
Hank
Mike,
and Fairway, and like I don't know, like Brad will have a couple drinks.
Brad,
Bob might have a couple drinks. Jr. very rarely will have a drink on the golf course. I might grab a white claw every once in a while, kind of thing. But I'm not going to go up there and sit at the bar or sit at the clubhouse. And
no.
after a 5 hour round, I'm looking to go home, dude.
I'm looking to go home and get something in my belly that's not going
Yeah,
to cost me an arm and a leg.
right. That's that part. That part. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to continuing the pod. I'm gonna start doing two episodes a week for the off season. I remember last year, bro, I was dropping them every day. I'm not doing that this year. That was really just
Dude, when I was with Anthony doing the upstate stuff, me and him used to say it all the time, like, holy fuck, dude. Like, how does he even breathe?
yeah, it was tough, man. There was times I was doing two a night just to get them out. Boom, boom. Like I have something planned the next night, but it was also to the point, Mike, where it was fun because I was like I would do someone from the East Coast at like 7:38, and then 10 o'clock it would be a West Coast guest, and I was like, oh man, all right, I'd be struggling to stay up that 1 hour in between. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'd be struggling to get up. I think I fell asleep on fucking 52 Sundays like 3 times, dude. Like, yeah, like one time it was with you guys, and the other time it was twice with me. I'm like, dude, guys, I'm so sorry. Let's do this like 4 in the afternoon. Can we?
For real.
Yeah,
Especially on the West Coast, dude. West Coast hour. You try and do West Coast hours, you're gonna toast yourself quick.
mm-hmm. Real quick, real quick. It's cool too, though. Like I've had guests get confused with me and think it's like 8:30 in the morning. Um, I've had guests think this is like my full-time job, and like I'm like, no, man, I gotta go to work all day, and then I come home and do a podcast for fun. Like this is just something fun to do. But
Right.
it's been an experience, man, for especially this year. Just seeing like one with the crew growing. That's the thing I'm probably most proud of, honestly, just from the jump is being able to get. I say this all the time, especially to guests. Like golf and cannabis are one of the two of those things that golf, cannabis, and music. I always say are three things that bring people from all different walks of life together.
Yep.
So to have like the crew we have out there is kind of shows that like we're all out there just hanging out, playing golf, smoking. So two of them three, the guys who don't smoke, they're out there because of golf, but we're
Or
all out
drink.
there, yeah, or drink, and we're just having a good time, dude. It's like you could throw anybody. I could literally put everybody's name in a hat, pick out 4 names. That's a group. Pick out 4 names. That's a group, and you're going to show up on Sunday, and most likely 99% chance you're going to have a great time. Unless you play like shit and you're stuck with someone else playing like shit and you're both miserable bitching all fucking day. It happens.
Which in turns usually turns into, oh, fuck it, man, let me get a beer.
Or give it a beer, fire up another one, yeah.
Yep.
Which makes
I mean,
the day you're just
fire
cracking
up
jokes
another
and
one's
listening to
always
tune.
the case, no matter what. But
Yep. But that's my favorite part of the whole year. Second part would be honestly just the networking aspect of this. Like having, like I said earlier, having some of the guests on. XG, E-Zone, that we don't smoke the same crew. Those guys were two of the first people to support me, man. I reached out and said, yo, guys, can you guys can I give you guys a shout out at the beginning of my podcast for like a sponsorship? They're like, yeah, man, what do you want from us? I'm like, I don't know, nothing. Throw me a t-shirt or something, Like, all right. And then I got a chance to meet XG. Once I showed him like my logo and who, he's like, oh shit. Fucking, he's like, yo, man, I'm gonna come on for you coming out to the show, man. I'm gonna come on the podcast. And I'm like, yeah, right. My wife was sitting right there with me. She goes, I'm like, yo, you heard that? He's like, no, I swear, I'm coming on. Hopped on the podcast. Somehow I ended up with his phone. He DM'd me his phone number or something. Oh, for the pod. And then I literally never ever like, I'm not that crazy. Like, oh, I gotta text XG, you know. But like, I needed when I got the CBD golf CBD sponsorship. I was like, I don't know how much to charge or do any of this stuff. Like, I'm just doing this to do this kind of thing. I had nobody to ask. I'm like, don't really want to bother this dude, but it'd be the only person who could point me in the right direction.
Right.
I shoot him a quick text, bro. Within a minute, he go, dude, that's awesome. Congratulations. And he's like, I told you what was gonna happen. Blah blah blah. He's like, this is what you should do. This is how you should do it. So I'm sitting there going, wow. Like, what would I do if I didn't know? Like, I'd have to Google it. You know what I'm saying? So someone
Right.
had that in my experience. Then he's sending me guests like Brain Supreme. He hooked me up with him. He's working on some other Brian Athey. He helped me out with a couple other people. So, and that all snowballs though because then Athey hooks me up and gets me on with gets Audrey on his girl Audrey, and then
Yep.
Tyler from Four Left. So like the way it all snowballs in the networking, man, it's been cool. Like I want to once I can after this Disney trip and can start filling back up the piggy bank. I can start putting
Yeah. After
planning
the
some
Disney
trips.
trip, you're gonna be
Uh,
replenishing the piggy bank for the next fucking 10 years for that one.
Bro, it's been fun though, man. It's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. 30-day count, man. 30-day count. So I'm excited about it for sure.
Now
And
you're go. What are you doing? 6 days, 7 nights,
something
or
like that. Yeah, 7 days, 6 nights, something like that. Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
oh, they're gonna fucking drain you, kid.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Her sister just went, so she has all this moves and this and that. So she saved us quite a bit of money, which is fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, we got hooked up. We got hooked up pretty good, but still, I mean, it's not like we're going to Hoffman's Play League. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's gonna cost you, dude. I remember when Christ before Kirk was born
Yeah.
was the last time I was down. My daughter was only fucking 3 years old, and I remember paying that off for it was a good 7, 8 years after
Bro, like I
I
know I'm gonna get
was.
down there and this fountain soda is gonna be like 14.50, and I'm just gonna
Oh
lose
my
my mind.
god.
You know what I'm saying? Bottle of
Yep.
water, $8. It's gonna be like fuck you, and you can't bring nothing in there and do none of that shit.
Nope.
But
They're
yeah,
gonna get you.
I want to get out to California and play
It's
with the
it's gonna
Legend
be a
crew.
good trip though, dude, because
Oh
you're
yeah,
just it's gonna be something your daughter's gonna remember for the rest of her
forever. She's
life.
at the perfect age for it, 7, man, where she's really gonna remember this and like cool enough to where everything's still like the realistic factor for her and shit like that too. So
My
it's gonna
daughter
be
had a
fun.
blast, and she was only 3,
Yeah.
and
So
she said she remembers little tiny things, bits and pieces. She remembers having breakfast and Minnie Mouse coming over.
yeah, we're gonna do that. Like that's the cool thing too, bro. Is we're doing a lot more of that stuff than we are like we're not the type that are gonna go. She's not big into the rides. I'm not really anymore. Like, dude, I went on the Comet a couple years ago and I was scared to death, dude. Up a Great Escape. So like, I can't do roller coasters like I used to, bro.
Dude, one they have a certain part of the park where it's like Beauty and the Beast
Yup.
and teacups and this and that. Those type of rides, she
Oh, it's
might
gonna be a blast.
actually, yeah, she might actually jump on a couple of those.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Because
remember. I mean, it's been 30 plus years since I went. So it's been. I think I was like 10 the last time we went, and I was yeah, I had to be about 9 or 10. And the coolest place for me was Universal. Oh, this you'll appreciate this one. So, um, I went to Epcot. We went to Epcot, and I hit the batting cages. Well, on the batting cage screen, there was everybody had a major league player was up there for like 5 minutes, watch a couple of kids hit, and would give them hitting tips. Well, mine was Gary Carter, dude.
no shit.
Yeah, dude. So I'm up there, and he's like, "Hey, Raj, yeah, man, you gotta, get your elbow up, keep your head down, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Yeah, all right." I'm like, "Dad, who's that?" He goes, "Buddy, it's fucking," because I only knew Yankees back then, you know. He's
Right.
like, "That's Gary Carter." And as I got older and figured out who Gary Carter was and shit, I was like, "Oh shit, that guy gave me batting tips when I was fucking with a kid at
He
Epcot."
he was the kid before fucking Ken Griffey.
Yeah, yup. He was a hell of a ball. He catch it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I idolized him when I was a kid because I was a
your eye,
catcher
because when I
part
said the
time.
name, your eyes lit up.
Yeah, yeah. I got
So
his
that was super cool.
actually went out to the Polish Community Center out in Albany.
Yeah.
They used to do, or no, was it the Italian Community Center out
What a price chopper.
by Crossgates,
Yeah, that's the Italian.
the Italian Community Center.
Yep.
They used to do Mets things all the time and autograph signings, and I went there one time as a kid and paid like $10.
You get his autograph.
Saved up my own money. I was like fucking 8 years old, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, dad. I remember
Yeah.
fucking up on top of the stage doing this with my dad.
Yeah.
It was
That's
awesome. I still got it. You can barely see his autograph. It's so
figured out.
old.
Yeah, I remember when Model Sports opened up at Crossgates,
Yep.
and they had a big signing. They had who was it? It was Phil Simms, Patrick
Okay.
Ewing. I forget who the Yankee was. I want to say it was like Bernie Williams or Pettit, but I think that was before them. So I forget who the Yankee was. And there was a New York Jet. So I was going for Phil Simms. I was a big Giants fan. I was like, Phil Simms was my guy. I was playing quarterback in Pop Warner at the time. I was like, I gotta get Phil Simms' autograph, man. You know, Giants quarterback, that's so cool. I get there, bro. I'm fucking 4 people deep. Me and my boy Sid. 4 people deep. Phil Simms is all done signing. Thanks, guys. Have a good. I'm like, fuck. I'm sitting there with my little Phil Simms jersey, all this. I'm pissed, right? Patrick Ewing comes and sit down. And I'm not a Ewing fan at all. Like, I'm a Jordan fan at this point. But I waited that long, so I'm like, I'm gonna get someone's fucking autograph. My dad's Ewing fan. And bro, all this guy does is put a big E, W, and a line. Like, you couldn't even tell, like 33. Like, it was the biggest bullshit autograph ever. I'm looking at him all sideways, and he goes to shake my hand. When he shook my hand, dude, his middle finger was touching my elbow. It was literally the biggest hands I've ever seen in my life, bro. I was like, that's why he can just grab a basketball out of the sky like it's
Yep.
a tennis ball, a ping pong ball.
Yep.
It was
And
nuts.
that's why
I was
Shaquille
pissed.
O'Neal looks like he's doing this with a basketball on
That's
free
literally how it
throws.
feels. The Shaq shoot. That's what people don't realize. Shaq shooting a free throw is like you holding a golf ball in your hand.
Literally.
It's not easy. It's really not.
Dude, you remember when was it Sports Authority or something like that when it was out in Latham?
Yeah.
Uh, they used to have a display shoe,
Remember
Shaquille
that?
O'Neal Reebok. Dude,
Yeah.
I swear to
Size
God, the thing
29s
was
or 31s or something.
it was almost the size of a coffee table, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I swear to God, I remember going there as a kid going, holy shit. How
Yup.
does he run in these things, man?
That's the same thing like Jerry Rice. People don't realize how big Jerry's Rice, he's got huge hands. Like, I remember there's a Miami documentary, and Michael Irvin even throws up the U. And his fingers are like, he looks like E.T., bro. It's like, yo, no wonder these guys don't drop a fucking football. They're
For
not
real.
normal. They're not normal. Well, football's been a mess. The Canes just had their bowl game. This is a big topic in the sports world, especially projected top 5 pick Cam Ward, starting quarterback for the Canes.
Yep.
So he sat out the second half of the bowl game. They had a 3-point lead going into the half, but he sat out the second half. Now he was number 4 in the Heisman running this year. Had a great season. Like, he's going to get paid next year. He's going to be a millionaire like in April. So kind of create like a lot of these guys once they get to the bowl game, if it's not for a playoff or the national championship, they're not playing. Like the key players, like he should have sat out. Like our number 1 receiver sat out, Xavier Restrepo, because he's going to the league. There's no point of blowing out an ACL and costing yourself
right.
money. So
now they're still getting paid even
they're getting
while
paid NIL college money, yeah, but it's not
right.
what you're gonna get when you get to the league. So
what about ballpark? What do they get paid per week?
I don't know how it works. Like, it's obviously the tier of the player.
Right.
So like Cam Ward was probably getting over $1 million this year to play for Miami. Easily getting over $1 million. Plus the other incentives he can get through
endorsements and shit.
Go to a car dealership and endorse them, or go post up a Lombardi putter and get paid off of that, or something like
right.
that. Like all that shit you can type do. But so he he came into the first half. He scored. He threw a touchdown pass, a couple touchdown passes, but he broke the NCAA record for all-time touchdown passes in a game. Awesome stat to have. Well, then he doesn't come out for the second half. We put in our backup who hasn't played all year. Kid looks like shit. With 55 seconds left, just to give you the quick rundown, 55 seconds left. We give up a touchdown. Canes are down 1. We have an awesome kicker. This kid can hit a 50, 60-yard kick. We just got to get downfield a little bit. Cam Moore doesn't come back into the game. Now, me personally, I don't blame him, kid. You shouldn't even have suited up for the game.
For real.
But if you suited up just to break that record, that's a pretty selfish move.
Yeah, it is.
If you suited up because you felt like you had to finish what you started with the team and this was the deal, so then it comes out that prior to him even announcing he was playing in the bowl game, they made an agreement that no matter what happens, he's going to play the first half and the backup's going to play the second half. So that's exactly what happened. And you could see on the sidelines, he started tossing the ball around a little bit. So I don't think it was his decision personally not to.
Well, if it was premeditated, then that was a team thing.
Right.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. So if you have that agreement with the coach and everybody knows like you're not coming back into the game, like I get it at that point. And it's not worth the fucking Pop-Tarts Bowl is not worth you losing millions and millions of dollars and your career could be changed forever.
Right.
Because it
Now,
happened a couple years ago to Jalen Smith at Notre Dame.
it just so happened that for the first half that he came out, he ended up breaking the record.
He broke the record.
Right, which doesn't make it look good. Makes it look selfish.
It makes it look selfish, man. And honestly, he's from what you see from the kid and like what I've watched all season from him, he's probably the most unselfish guy we've had in that program in a long time.
But hasn't the system made these players be selfish?
You have to. Now it's
right?
Yeah, you're right because it's so true, Mike. Because especially you from the outside looking in, the way you look at it is probably so much different than my perspective as just a college football fan.
Right.
But it is, dude, because now you have the transfer portal. Like, oh, I don't like being here. I'm going to go over here. Me. And it's not like Florida State basketball players are suing their coach because they didn't get paid the agreement on their NIL deal. Now, are these handshake deals or are these signed contracts? Like these kids are supposed to have agents doing this shit. So I think you really got to go about it the right way. They got to figure out how to put a cap on it. Like each conference has a certain amount of money they can spend or whatever the case may be. But it's got to be like the Power 5 conferences. Each team has a, I don't know, $10 million cap. Like that's all you get. And one of them millions most likely always going to go to a quarterback.
But what's going to happen to all these smaller schools that don't compete, that don't have the $10 million that they can even approach a cap?
So
you know
they turn into a second tier, which in college football, man, it's kind of already.
It's already like that, anyways. So
yeah, because you have like your Boise States are always like they're in the playoffs this year, but as soon as Boise State lines up against a real fucking team. Like in a big, and when they play an SEC team of Georgia, or even if they were to play Alabama, they're gonna get smoked, dude. You know what I mean? They're just not bigger. They're all bigger, faster, stronger. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
They recruit better players. You got 5 stars at one school, you got 3 stars at another. You know, it's in a lot of its system, and you can dominate your conference, you can dominate the SWAC, but you're not going to dominate in the SEC. So it's kind of already tiered up like that. But so if you tier it the same way, I mean, it already happens. A lot of these schools become, with the transfer portal now as well, they become developmental programs. So you're going to go to, I don't necessarily want to give Boise State because they're a pretty good team, but they are a smaller school. So it's a good example of like a Boise State where you're going to go there for 1 or 2 years, have a good year at running back, and then transfer to a Florida.
A big name school.
Or Georgia or USC and get that shine where you're like, oh, I'm a big name. Like this, Sean Genty was the running back there breaking records at Boise State this year. He stayed there all 4 years where he could have easily transferred out after last year because he had a pretty good year and bounced to a bigger school. But here's the thing, too. Does he put up those same numbers if he goes to a bigger conference with where you're playing solid defenses every week opposed to like every other week you got a tough matchup on hand?
Right.
So there's a lot of ways to look at it. There's always, obviously 2 sides of the sword. to break that shit down. But yeah, the playoffs come up. I'm gonna drop this Thursday, so the playoffs will be this weekend, man. College football playoffs, full swing. The final 8 going out there. My Canes on the outside looking in, which sucks. Season's over. Now I'm just playing the video game. Fuck it. I beat
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
in the video game by 60 points, just so it makes me feel better about it. You ever see those clips when someone gets beaten and the next thing they're like bullshit calling 240-6 or something?
Yeah,
Get revenge. It's like,
there's an episode of Family Guy where Peter plays Quagmire on Tecmo Bowl.
yeah.
When you would pick the L.A. Raiders because of Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson just run up and down.
and Peter Griffin just takes Bo Jackson and goes all the ways to the goal line and goes all the ways
Oh my
back and just
God.
goes all the ways back and Quagmire's fucking destroying.
Remember that
No,
dude?
come on, I'm
Just
gonna quit.
run up to the top of the screen and down. That was all you had to do. Whatever way you ran the ball, ran all the way to the out of bounds and then over.
The Bo Jackson glitch.
The Bo Jackson glitch. Who else? There was Bo Jackson,
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice. Dickerson was good in that. Who was the
Yep.
Walter Payton? Walter Payton.
Yep.
Walter Payton was the man. That game. I'd love to get that game chopped. Imagine putting that, like going to the bunker, sitting on it and putting a video game up on those, and everybody playing like video game. That would be fun.
And it, like NFL Blitz.
Yeah, old school shit. Bust out like GoldenEye.
Yep.
Oh, the 4 controllers set up the 4 screen. That's where it's at, dude. I'm gonna do that. I'll talk to the guy. So, Mike, in a couple weeks too, working on something with the Helium Collective boys. We're gonna do a little trip up to the bunker. If I can get 4 of you guys, 3 of you guys to come up. Hank said he'd be down. I don't know if you would be interested in be like a
Absolutely.
12. All right, cool. I'll talk off air about the details, and I think if Scrounge wants to come up, man, it'll be the 3 of us. We're gonna do a little like Ryder Cup style. We're gonna figure it out, but we're gonna go up there for like 4 hours, trying to get a 9-hole something in with this. Probably do a 9-hole scramble with those guys set up on each course, and work on a little potential relationship with this simulator place here. So we'll see. It's a little out of our way. Those guys are from up there, but good to help support the small local business.
Absolutely. If you get affiliated with them and get connections, man.
Yeah, man, be able to pull up there in the winter, hit some golf balls, pull up, do a live podcast, something like that. That's the only thing I want to do is I want to, start to maybe try to pull up and do some live events at local dispensaries or courses or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. But Mike,
crack,
you really
crack one out at the bunker, man.
We could. We literally could in the room for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. It's super loud, but we could pull something out. You said something earlier, though, man, that really stood out to me. You said, focus on one thing, not a bunch of little things, man. I wrote it down. You know me, I'm always over here writing my fucking notes. I got notes in the fucking pad all the time. All the time. Dude, I'm taking that advice, and I'm really going to focus on getting this tournament going. I got a few people I want to really get involved with me on this. There's obviously the crew. But yeah, man, I'm gonna lock in on this one for sure because I think this could be a really dope event, not only just for the golf, but for like in smoking in the cannabis industry and stuff, but like just to connect all these people. People here all the listeners who listen to the podcast, they all hear about Jaunty this and 420 Bliss this and whatever, MB Canna Farms this. Like get all these people to meet each other and see who you're dealing with when you go into these stores and what you're getting and what these companies and brands are really all about. Like the Helium boys, like, dude, honestly, I say it all the time, but like some of the flower that I see in these dispensaries and shit, like their product, bro. I wish I obviously don't have any more of that DNA shit they had because as soon as I seen it, I was like, up in smoke. It was fire though. It was like some of the best.
I think Helium just posted something today. It was like 5 different buds.
Yeah, dude. So he's doing you seen his test run. Yeah,
dude, them buds look nice.
So part of the thing we want to do up there, we're thinking is here's a little sneak peek, is going to basically be like a grower's perspective as well as and our aspect is going to be the consumer perspective. So like when we go into a dispensary, what kind of flower are we technically like? Our favorites, like what are we looking for as a consumer when we go into these places? And like it's kind of gonna at the same time, it's not only gonna help the growers know the trend of what people are going for and it's also going to help the dispensaries know, like, all right, like, first I want to make sure I go into a nice clean place. I want people to be knowledgeable when I'm asking for something, like all the standard stuff too, but like to know what kind of flower is, like, all right, the flavors, like people want the sour, the people want the, I don't know, there's so many, the za, the who, or it's necessarily brands, like people see the brands of cookies and this and that, but you're not, might not be getting the same quality as you could.
I think if you want to start drawing in the non-regulars, the people that are like buying shit from their regular
Yeah,
Joe Schmo dealer,
breaking the legacy, they call it legacy, so
you
breaking that chain.
right, you're gonna want to start selling a lot of the brands that they grew up on, which is
Uh,
gonna be your mainstream, your Kush, your
yep,
Sour Diesel, your
yep.
those mainstream Silver Haze, those kinds of brands. I think have them readily available, and
Hmm.
I think that would draw in a little more of the people that wouldn't go to a dispensary and
Yeah,
pay the prices of a dispensary.
exactly. That's the thing too. You got to figure out that some of these numbers are a little for what people can get in the black market, opposed to in the legacy,
Right.
as opposed to what they can get in the dispensary, especially in the flower game. I mean, cartridges, like I always say this too, like when you go to get a vape or a cartridge, you know what you're getting at a dispensary. You don't know what they're tested and everything else, where you really don't know
Right.
how you're getting from the legacy side of the carts and shit. God only knows.
Getting
Um,
Crisco oil with a little bit of raspberry
yeah,
fucking
man, you really
flavor.
don't know, dude. You don't know. A little cinnamon thrown in there. So, oh, this is something, who knows? But, oh, there's Heathcliff. That fucking cat hears my voice again.
Yeah. Yeah. Check out what my daughter made for him for fucking.
Got some headphones?
Come here, buddy.
Got some headphones for the podcast? Oh, is that the Batman? Hell yeah. That's. Yeah, that cat fucking hates me. Here's my voice. It's like, yeah, go ahead, motherfucker. But yeah, dude, I gotta looking forward to the couple of guests I might be able to get on here. I spoke to already is AJ Sauer. I don't know if he's the guy who created the sour diesel strain. I'm really
Okay.
interested in hearing his story because it has some local ties. So curious about that. And then also Rob Lanier. He had a Netflix doc. It was on about 3 years ago, I think. He was the race car guy who was funding his whole race car operation by smuggling cannabis. So, gonna work into some things in the new year, Mikey.
Nice.
Love to have you on for those guests. I'll obviously give you the details and give you a little bit of background so you can do your research as well. But yeah, I mean, those are some of the guests I plan on having on. Looking to get XG back on before the February show. We'll see what happens there. He's a tough schedule with as well as me being away for the week at the end of the month. But we're gonna hit up the sim. We're going there. I was gonna say the 4th of July. I wish it was the fucking 4th of July. Golfing, bro.
Not hitting no sim on 4th of July, bro.
No, hell no. On New Year's Day, we're gonna have a few of the crew out there. I think hopefully eight's the perfect number for the two setup, man.
Yeah, I think you start getting into more than 8 people, dude, and you start running into you're standing around waiting more than you are doing
Exactly,
anything.
exactly. So what's cool too is have you been to the Clifton Park location?
Yeah, I just can't remember it all that
So there's a
much.
huge room with two bays. I'm assuming that's the one he gave us.
Okay.
I go up there. My buddy CJ, he has him and my boy Cerrone. They do a league every Thursday night up there.
Yep.
So they get the double room, and it's very accommodating because you have the big couches and like you can talk like the teams they play. You can talk shit. You can see what the other team's doing and all that. So
Nice.
it's fun. It's a good time up there. That's a nice location right up off of
And
146.
who exactly do we have so far?
So we got me, you, Farina, Hink. I got to see Hink today. Hink came and see me at after work today. Ran into
Nice.
him. Hank's gonna play. Kirk's gonna play. Scrounge. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
JR's up in the air. He's thinking about going to skiing. Bob doesn't respond to the group text because he's got that shit
Nope.
silent. Uh, who else? Fairway. Fairway was probably it was 5:30. He had dinner at 4. He's in bed by then. So 7
He's
years
a
old.
he's a possible 7.
Yep. So I'm gonna say if Fairway and Jay are in, and we got 8 right there, we could actually break up those teams pretty good. I mean,
Yep.
simulators don't mean shit.
No.
I
I
fucking
I watched I watched Fairway hit his first 5 shots were fucking 3 feet behind the ball.
bro, how many tee shots did I hit that didn't even register because I hit it so low?
Dude, I know your worm burners don't ever register, dude.
No, it's brutal, bro. I'm like, all right, am I really hitting a worm burner or is it like just a low riser? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
And you know that at fucking Freer Park, that worm burner that just didn't register at all
Yeah,
would be 240 out in the middle of their fairway.
right. It's gonna land. It's gonna carry 180 and then skip another 50, 60 yards.
Yeah.
It's nuts, and sometimes it ends up being a perfect shot, man. Like on the fourth hole, if I hit that worm burner, I'm a happy camper setting up 100 yards out.
Yeah, I think they're doing the target practicing more than the anything.
Yeah, working on the iron game. That's what I'm saying. That's when I got better on my irons because that's kind of what we started doing.
Grab
I'm
grab one club and fucking hammer at it.
Yeah, my cousin's husband, they live out in Connecticut, dude, and he's a pro instructor. I'm gonna get Pat on here. Um, I told him, I said, bro, next time you come home to visit the in-laws, I need you for about 3 hours simulator. I'll take care of everything, but you gotta fix my driver, dude. I can't hit a fucking ball off the tee. It's like, yeah, man, no problem, dude. Every time he comes here, I'm doing something else. I'm like, shit, dude. I was like, 3 hours. All I need, 3 fucking hours. Because they'll have me
The
fixing.
the question is he gonna have you fucking trying to hold the club different?
I
Or
already
is he
told him, he
gonna
goes,
try
no,
and
that's not an issue.
all
I told
right.
him I can't switch that. I said, he goes, no, it's not an issue. I can fix you. Because I think it's all mental at this point, too, Mike. I think I'm just so fucking mental with it, man.
Yep.
Driving me nuts. I got to take my back nine botanical moonlight mulligan here for my nightcap.
Right.
Strawberry cheesecake. I don't like cheesecake, but I do love strawberries. These things are good. These things are
What
good.
are they? The THC gummies?
They're CBDs.
CBDs.
These ones got 10 milligrams of the CBN. That's the shit that makes you go to sleep. Bro, fire.
Do you really need that though, bro?
Me personally, today, yeah,
Nah.
I drank a Pepsi earlier, so I'll be a little wired. hmm I don't do the caffeine and the sugar, man. So when I hit it, it hits me.
I live on it, dude.
I mean, it hits
If
me, man.
if I don't have my Mountain Dews, I'll be like this.
Dude, when we used to go to the bunker on our Thursday nights, I used to order a diet soda, caffeine free, Pepsi, usually sugar free, whatever, or like a Sprite. One day, the dude gave me the wrong drink, and it was a Pepsi. One of the guys went up and ordered me a Pepsi. Bro, I was up till like 12:30 that night because we played from 9 to 11. I'm like, dude, I can't sleep. I usually used to go home and crash. I was wired. I'm going to work. I wake up for work the next day. I was like a fucking zombie.
I
It
can't
took me
believe
like,
caffeine and sugar does that to you.
nah, man. But then I had to drink another Pepsi to get going. Then I had a headache the fucking rest of the day. Old people
Caffeine
shit.
headache, bro.
I hate it, man. So I don't do coffee, man. It stunts your growth. Stunts your growth. Let's wrap this bitch up, Mikey. Mikey, where can I find you, man? What's your Instagram?
518 Mikey on
You see it right
Instagram.
there in the
That's it.
blue. Yeah.
And
No
then
doubt.
on here on the Pitch Putt Puff podcast.
That's it. Let's go. Make this a permanent thing. Just get you on here full time, man. Shit.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, because I got a couple guests. Actually, speaking of a guest, real quick before we wrap this up, homegirl Kayla. I spoke to her the other day. The guest you hooked me up with, is it niece, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep, your niece. She works for HPI. We had a guest back in the day. Lindsay was working for HPI, but let's hear what that got going on. She was very interested when I got talking about the tournament, so that'll be a little
Dude,
fun conversation to have.
she's a spitball fire, bro.
Bro, she seemed like we talked for 20 minutes, and it was just like, yeah, I would say something, and I'm like, yeah, that's like get all excited about something, and then she would respond to it all excited. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be like a great conversation, but it's so funny.
She's so funny.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring some edibles and a couple pre-orders. Like, nope, I'll bring samples of everything. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, cool. So we'll have a good time.
Yep.
We'll get that one. She's away next week, but we'll get that on the books by the end of the month. So bunch of shit planned out, man. If everything goes according to plan, should be a good 2025 here for the Pitch Putt Puff. Gonna wish everybody happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and let's get this thing rolling. Keep it rolling into 2025. Stay tuned. Make sure you guys check out the YouTube as well as the Instagram page, Pitch Putt and Puff. And stay tuned for some merch. Talk to you then. Later.